Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now Bitcoin is still playing out this ascending parallel channel, trending in the bullish direction, at least in the short term, but the price is now quickly moving towards this major area of resistance again. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside the price of Solana still playing out this bullish divergence, while the price of Chainlink is also playing out this bullish divergence, but quickly heading towards this area of resistance again. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin price chart, and right now the super trend indicator is still sitting in the red, so not a lot has changed on this chart over the last one day. So getting straight into this weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the MACD is still technically looking more bearish than it is bullish, but as I've already been saying for the last few days, for almost a week now, we are potentially approaching a low point in the histogram within the MACD indicator, indicating that basically we've already reached the maximum amount of bearish momentum within this bearish movement. But that does not necessarily mean that we're just about to flip massively bullish again straight away right now. It does not mean that, because for example, if we're looking at the last time we saw something like this happen in the histogram within the MACD indicator on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, that was right around here, around July 2024. And that basically was telling us that yes, we've already seen most of the bearish price action by that point right there, but we didn't necessarily flip massively bullish again until at least a few months later. A couple of months later after that point. It just basically told us that the worst was kind of already behind us. And if we're taking a look at the time before that, we saw something similar around early September 2023. And what came next was a lot of sideways price action in the short term, followed by a slight bullish relief. And then ultimately we continued with the bull market later on, around a month later. But technically speaking, we still need to actually confirm that low point in place in the histogram within the MACD indicator, which will likely confirm at some point within the next couple of weeks. So that is the current situation based on this Bitcoin price chart right here. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we technically still have a massive bearish divergence, which we need to pay attention to, as I've been saying every day for over 2 months now. And so this is basically telling us to not expect a significant amount of bullish momentum anytime soon. So of course we can see some short-term bullish price action, just not necessarily massive momentum towards the upside. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high at close to 110,000 down to this swing low as of right now, we have the 38.2% Fibonacci level of resistance sitting at approximately 87,500. So that is the current level of resistance to pay attention to. And above that level, above around 87.5k to 88,000, in that case, we have more resistance at around 91 to 92,000 and major resistance at around 96,000 based on these retracement levels and Fibonacci levels. And as for support, we do have this level of support right here sitting at approximately 83,000. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin price chart, we also have significant support in between around 70,000 to 74,000, and also a lot at close to 70,000 based on the volume profile indicator as well. So if we actually make it there, expect a lot of demand for Bitcoin at those prices. And as for resistance, at least based on this chart right here, we have an area of resistance to watch out for in between around 86,000 to 88,000. And we've already seen at least one short-term rejection from within that area, proving it as resistance. In fact, this has happened after we previously saw a rejection earlier. So actually 2 rejections, as we can see from that area. And so in other words, a lot of people are interested in selling Bitcoin or taking profits from Bitcoin around that area on the price chart. But if we can finally see a confirmed breakout above around 88,000, in that case, we have significant resistance at close to 96,000 based on this volume profile indicator. And remember, we also have resistance at around 91 to 92k as well. And here on the daily Bitcoin price chart, we also still have this bullish divergence technically playing out, as I've been saying every day for around a week and a half now, which means we're most likely going to see just a slight bullish relief or at the very least a bit of choppy sideways price action. So basically a break or a relief in the shorter term for a couple of weeks from all of the bearish price action here. And usually a bullish divergence on the daily time frame plays out over a couple of weeks, give or take, and so far it's been roughly around 1.5 weeks. So this could likely continue to play out for at least a little longer, maybe the next few days, maybe even another week, because at least for now we've not yet confirmed any invalidation signal to invalidate this bullish divergence. And so this is one of the primary signals at the moment that is indeed affecting the price of Bitcoin. This is one of the main causes as to why we did see a bit of a bullish relief here over the last 1 to 2 weeks approximately. But of course, we cannot ignore these other points of resistance where the price can also struggle at. And if we're zooming further into the short term, taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin price chart, while Bitcoin is playing out that bullish divergence, we are indeed playing out a ascending parallel channel, with higher lows and higher highs. So at least in the short term, of course, this is technically a short-term bullish trend. And as of right now, the line of support for this ascending parallel channel is sitting at just above 83,000, and the line of resistance for the parallel channel is sitting at close to 88,500, and the center line for the parallel channel is currently sitting at roughly around 85,500, which will likely act as some resistance as well. And if you want to actually trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, of course, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And personally, I'm taking a lot of my crypto trades over on BTNX, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BTNX below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this sign up page where you can claim an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the BTNX exchange forever. That massive fee discount lasts forever on your BTNX account, but that is only available if you use that link. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And in case you're wondering, BTNX is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BTNX as an exchange, there's also 2bit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and right now we still have a lot of liquidity in between around 71,000 to 74,000, and also a lot of liquidity at close to $100,000 per Bitcoin. And we do have a small amount of liquidity in the short term building at around 87.5K. And so other than that, not much else has really changed on this chart over the last one day. So getting straight into the price of Ethereum on the weekly time frame, and technically we're still seeing significant bearish price structure on the weekly time frame. So despite short-term bounces, the larger situation, the long-term situation for Ethereum is technically still bearish, as I've been saying for quite some time. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day time frame, at least for now, we are holding above this important Fibonacci level of support, the 78.6% Fibonacci level of support, and that's sitting at around 1870 to 1880 approximately. So in that high 1.8K area, just below 1.9K, we do have a lot of short-term support around there. But if we actually break below that area of support and actually flip that into new resistance, for example, if we fail to get back above that level, then in that situation, the next significant support towards the downside is sitting at close to 1,500, around 1.5K. And as for resistance, we do have a lot of resistance in between around 2.1K to 2.2K approximately, based on previous significant support, this previous golden pocket area of support flipping into new resistance. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour Ethereum price chart, we also have short-term support along this line right here based on previous resistance flipping into new support, and that is currently sitting at around 1930. And we also have this ascending line of support right here, which is currently sitting at almost exactly 1.9K. And just in the short term, we would also likely find some resistance around this local high just here, which is sitting at approximately 2060. But honestly, not much else has really changed for Ethereum over the last one day. So getting straight into the price of Solana on the weekly time frame. And right now, at least as of recording this video, the price of Solana is still currently bouncing, still finding a lot of support from within 120 to 130. Obviously, as I've been talking about over and over again here on the channel since before we saw the first bounce from this area. Because obviously, if you've been watching my videos over the last 1 month approximately, or even longer than that, you'll know that basically the moment we broke below below this ascending line of support right here, sitting at just under 170, around 167 give or take. The moment we broke that line right there, I was targeting around $90 based on this massive rising wedge pattern. But before the $90 price target, I've been saying we have significant support in between 120 to 130, where the price would likely basically stop at or basically bounce from, considering it is significant support. And that's exactly what has happened over the last few weeks for almost a month now, as I've been saying. And if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, we are still currently playing out this bullish divergence, at least in the short term. So obviously, like I've been saying once again, we're most likely going to see just a slight bullish relief, or at the very least a bit of choppy sideways price action. So basically a break or a relief from all of the bearish price action here, and especially with the bullish divergence playing out at the same time as the price running into significant support, there was always a good chance that we would likely basically see a break from all of the bearish price action just in the short term here. But it is important to understand, in case you're new to all of this, that this is not necessarily a bullish trend reversal signal running into support and playing out a bullish divergence. These are not necessarily signals confirming a bullish trend reversal. And so, for example, a likely outcome that we need to keep in mind is that we could continue to play out a little bit more of a relief here over the coming days, maybe even for another week, give or take. But it is actually still possible we could ultimately continue the larger bearish trend later on. That is a possibility that we need to consider. I'm not saying that's certain. I'm just saying, of course, that is a possibility. But at least over the next few days, I do continue to expect just a bit of a break. So basically, the bullish divergence continuing to play out, at least just over the next few days. That is what I expect here in the short term. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the 3-day time frame, obviously we're still playing out this significant bearish divergence, meaning we should not expect any significant bullish momentum anytime soon. And of course, over the last few months, that's exactly been playing out as expected. But of course, we can see some short-term bullish price action here and there, just not necessarily massive momentum towards the upside. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour time frame, looking at the short term for the price of XRP, we still have a lot of support in between around $2.24 to $2.30, and more support in between $1.95 to $2.05. And as for resistance, we have a lot of resistance at just above 260, mainly at around 265 to 280, and also more resistance at around $3. But in the meantime, just in the short term, the price of XRP is kind of lacking momentum to either direction. We're not really looking overly bullish or overly bearish, at least in the imminent short term here, because for now, the price is basically within a bit of a sideways price range. As we can see, for the last month, give or take, we've basically just been bouncing around sideways between support levels and resistance levels. So that is still the current situation in the short term. Unfortunately, it is relatively boring price action, but believe it or not, you can still make a lot of easy profits during choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, taking a quick look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame. And right now, Chainlink is technically still playing out this bullish divergence. We've not yet invalidated the bullish divergence, which means it is still active. And so, as I always say, this means we're most likely going to see just a slight bullish relief here in the short term, or at the very least, a bit of choppy sideways price action. And while the bullish divergence is playing out at the same time as the price approaching major resistance, this golden pocket, previous golden pocket area of support, now acting as new resistance, sitting in between 1490 to 1550. This is telling us that we could likely play out a bit of choppy sideways price action in the coming days, maybe over the next week, give or take, because as I've explained recently here on the channel, the price is trying to play out the bullish divergence, but struggling around resistance, and then continuing to play out the bullish divergence, struggling around resistance. And we see that a few times here, which will likely cause a bit of choppy sideways price action. That's what I've been expecting for the last few days, and so far it's been playing out perfectly. But if we can ultimately finally see a confirmed breakout back above ideally 1550 with candle closes above 1550, and even better if we actually hold that as new support, then in that situation, the next price target and the next major point of resistance would be sitting at approximately $17.50. And as for support, if we play out a further rejection from this area of resistance here, then in that situation, the next major point of support I'll be watching is sitting at around 1270 to 1280 approximately, based on this Fibonacci level of support, and also based on this local low, proving it as support. But for now, the larger trend for the price of Chainlink is currently unchanged. We've not yet confirmed a bullish trend reversal signal, so at least for now, we're technically still within a larger bearish trend. We're simply just seeing a short-term bullish relief during a bearish trend, like what we saw here or here, for example. But remember, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that you can only claim using those links. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.